Okay. What? Prosecutor von Karma? You mean... No, I heard it's his successor this time. Successor? Manfred von Karma was a really sinister man. He pulled all sorts of nasty tricks, all so he could win. He was a man obsessed with the word perfection. He had a perfect record for 40 long years. Who knows what sort of dirty tricks he used to get each of those guilty verdicts. And now his successor. I wonder what kind of person they will turn out to be. It's no good. Mystic Maya! Pearly! You showed up. Thanks for coming all this way. I was really worried about you. Hey, where's your mother? Did you two come together? Mother is watching over the trainees. She said they have training for 2 days straight with no breaks. Huh? Then you came all by yourself? Yep, I snuck out of the manor and followed a map. Don't tell me you walked all the way here. Of course not. I ran. I can't... Oh my, if it takes 2 hours by train. Oh man. Pearly, what about the train? Huh? What's a train? I give up. It's time, isn't it? Okay, 2 hours by train. She must have been running for a long time. Little kids got lots of energy, right? And the mediums are supposed to be they put themselves through really severe physical hardship to attune their senses, so maybe she was just used to that, so she just kept running. Dory style, just keep running, just keep running. What do we run, run. I'm really scared. What if Von Karma tries to do something to me? At least I know Mr. Edgelord would be nicer to me than Von Karma. Mr. Edgelord? Who is that? He's Nick's rival. Well, he's also a friend.
Objection!
I still remember him though, as I'd seen him only yesterday.
Objection!
Every trial was so scorchingly fierce battle until the very end.
Objection! Objection!
It was always back and forth with them. But when you're rivals for life... Maya. Please don't mention that name ever again. Huh? But why, Nick? I'm sorry, Maya. I forgot. You don't know. He's gone, and he's not coming back. Oh, what? Wait a second. What's that supposed to mean? Court will commence shortly. Please proceed to the courtroom. Let's go. Now's not the time to talk about that anyway. Nick? Alright. Let's cord it up. Court is now in session for the trial of Maya Fey. Are the prosecution and the defense prepared? Ah! You know, I just assumed it would be his son. I don't know why. What is with this kid? Mr. Wright, are you prepared? Yes, Your Honor. Why does he always seem to be mad at me? Mr. Phoenix Wright. You must be a little shocked because I'm a woman, correct? I'm not gonna lie. For some reason, I just went Von Karma's jerk son is gonna be a jerk like Von Karma. I guess it's because I thought he was gonna be the jerk. You know, and you don't assume that a lady's gonna be a jerk. You know, lady's gonna be nice. Well, now we get jerk face, resting jerk face. We'd use a different word, but I'll keep it at jerk face. Hold on, so she's the famed successor to Prosecutor Von Karma. No, 13 when she became a prosecutor. She's been a prosecutor for a long time, Valkyrie. I am Franziska von Kammer, the prodigy. I see. Gave up a promising career in Germany and came to this country for one sole reason. Revenge. Revenge. It's not something of personal nature, I'm sure you can. Oh, I'm talking. If you interrupt, my whip will do. If you interrupt again, my whip will do the speaking for me. Make no mistake, I will defeat you. Prepare to go down, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Professor von Kammer, your opening statement, please. Hey, Quartz, how you doing? Those of von Kammer blood have only one fate, and that is perfection. The defendant, Maya will get no escape from her guilt on my watch. Very well. What is the defense's position? Your Honor? Does the defense wish to enter a plea of not guilty? Yes. Yes, we do. Foolish fool of foolishly dreams of foolish dreams. 10 minutes. I give the defense 10 minutes before it changes its plea. Yes, she whipped the judge. That's right. I'll have you running for the justified self-defense plea in no time. Justified self-defense? Plea usually reserved for when a person unintentionally kills in defense of themselves. You could very easily make a solid case of self-defense, but the defense stands by a plea of not guilty, Your Honor. Pleading justified self-defense says you did kill them. I don't like her. How foolish. That's how you want to play it, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And I shall now call the first witness. She's just as scary as her father, like daughter, I suppose. It's Gumshoe. Witness, your name and occupation? Yes, sir, my name is Dick Gumshoe. I'm a detective at the local precinct. Ah! Get to the point already. Explain to the court the details of this murder. You only asked for his name and occupation. Oh, wow. Yes, sir, if everyone would please look at this map. At the time of the murder, only the victim and the defendant were in the room. What were they doing in there? They were channeling a spirit, sir. Channeling a spirit? Yeah, it's quite a look of disbelief there, Your Honor. Anyway, a few minutes after the channeling started, gunshots were heard coming from inside the room, sir. A few of the witnesses broke the door down and rushed into the room. I believe this is one of the most open and shut cases I've ever presided over. Full plans added to the court record. I don't know if that's open and shut like that. So how was the victim killed? About to get to that. Stop wasting my time then. The direct cause of death was the pistol shot to the forehead, sir. The shot was fired from point-blank range. But before the victim was shot through, he was stabbed in the chest. Okay, so the screen, the hole is at the bottom. Ricochet off the forehead? The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. Murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing. Alright. Then the victim thought up the report thorough. Yeah, the stabbing and the shooting is really getting to me because the hole, the bullet hole in the screen was, what they say, it was 8 inches off the floor. We'll get to it. Autopsy report added to the court record. Court accepts it into evidence. Fired point blank range. The victim used the pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing. It sounds out of place so far. It's all pretty. I'll try to learn more about the murder weapons for now. Direct cause death with pistol shot to the forehead, sir.
Hold it!
The murder weapon detective gumshoe. Whose pistol was it? Victim took a pistol with him. Victim now, why would he have...
Objection!
Why would he have a pistol? Who cares? The point that you're missing is whose fingerprints are on that pistol. If you're not already paying attention, then I suggest you start. Fingerprints. There were fingerprints. Along with the victims, the defendant Maya Faith were also on the grip, sir. Yeah. Unless the screen came down and they just put it back up upside down. They shouldn't get hung up on it. I walked right into her hands there. The shot was fired from point blank range. Before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. I think something's out of place so far. Well, it kind of all sounds out of place. To try to learn more about the murder weapons for now. Stabbed? What was he stabbed with? A fruit knife. He brings that to the work office. Looks like it belongs to the faith, sir. I don't know. So it's theirs? Where was their fruit? The side room? And of course, my faith fingerprints are all over it. Does not look good. Ha ha ha. What will you do now, Mr. Phoenix Wright? I'll press on all of them, I guess. Yeah, whose pistol was it? It was the victim's.
Objection!
We already heard this one. I don't think that's it. I don't think that matters.
Hold it!
But we'll check it. Point blank, so about how far away is that? It's anywhere between 12 to 20 inches away. How do you know they shot at point blank? Mr. Phoenix, right? We're tired of these foolish foolery of the foolish fools of this foolish country. Excuse me? Gunpowder burn. Gunpowder burn. Something is shot from point blank. A burn area is left around the bullet hole. Gunpowder exploding is what makes bullet fire, and that gets real hot, pal. There were definitely some gunpowder burns left on the victim's forehead. We already pressed the knife. How severe was the wound? There was 2 gunshots though, right? If it had been half an inch more to the right, it would have hit the victim's heart. For a stab like that, it's impossible to fight back, let alone stand. Alright, can we look at the weapons at least? I mean, I don't think we... I don't get to have a look at these either.
Hold it!
Stab. Is he stabbed with kitchen knife? This feels like the one where, okay. I don't have anything to present. I think I'm going to press all of them. And it'll move on. But I've obviously missed one. That's an hour after.
Hold it!
As if it was the wound, it'd be more to the right. Ugh. Okay, just press.
Hold it!
Murder weapon's a pistol.
Objection!
And he's gonna be. I walked into that one. Did I not press the second one? Yeah, I'm gonna go for a third time. Point blank. How do you know it was point blank? I don't know, how far away is that? Tisk, 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 tisk. Gunpowder burn.
Hold it!
Stabbed? What was he stabbed with? The knife? The wound was very severe.
Hold it!
How severe? Use a pistol, finish him off. Hold it! Are you sure he was stabbed first, then shot? Oh, there we go. Yep, sure it can be. One look at the wound and you come to the same conclusion too, pal. Fool's a fool who only listen to the foolish opinions of other foolish fools. Pistol shot to the forehead at point blank is certainly enough to kill instantly. Does it matter then which was first? Think a little bit more before you have that big mouth of yours, Phoenix. That's enough. Okay, now it's enough. And they had to listen to it 5 times. I brought the 2 murder weapons with me today. Judge is like, yep. Very well, court accepts them in evidence. Date time of death is June 19th at 3:15 p.m. Eyewitnesses claim to have heard 2 gunshots at this time and 2 murder weapons, both with the defendant's fingerprints on them, huh? Where was the other bullet shot? Does that seem like an open shut case? Ta-da! Naturally. It's going from bad to worse. As if the summary just now wasn't oversimplifying things to the extreme. Your Honor, feel free to slam that little gavel of yours. After all, there is no room left for doubt, is there? It's quite true, Mr. Wright. Yes. Even in the face of all this, do you still wish to plead not guilty? The opinion of this court that you do not adjust. It's the opinion of this court that if you do not adjust your plea, you stand to lose. See, just as I promised, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You would change your plea in less than 10 minutes. Will you change self-defense? Now would be the time to do so. This is your final chance. It's a huge decision. I better think through. Well, I mean, the option's always plead not guilty because it's a game. Okay. Yep, if we plead justified self-defense, we would lose and have to start this whole chapter over again. So, why even ask? Your Honor. Have you reached a conclusion, Mr. Wright? The defense will not change the plea. We will accept in nothing short of complete acquittal. You have sealed your fate, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Detective. Sir. Present the final portion of your testimony. The final strike. Why don't you just do this foul? Let's do this first. Yes, sir. Now, see here. Proceedings are run by... Oh, yes, of course. Go ahead, detective. Give your testimony. The court would like to hear about the other piece of incriminating evidence. Incriminating evidence. Sorry, pal, but there's even more incriminating piece of evidence. This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without doubt, was not fighting back. There certainly is evidence of black spray of blood on this. This piece directly links Maya to the fate of the crime, sir. I see the court accepts this as evidence. Maya's costume added to the court record. Alright, Mr. Wright. Maya's fingerprints on both murder weapons and blood splatters on her clothes. Could this situation get any worse? Wait for it. Ha! What's wrong? You seem to be at a loss. Oh, I thought she was going to say something that made it worse. I think this is the last piece of testimony the prosecution should have to offer. Feel free to sulk off with your tail between your legs, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Please stop calling me by my full name, it's disturbing. Okay. There's an even more incriminating piece of evidence. This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood. Defendant attacked and killed a person, not fighting back.
Hold it!
This blood on the costume. Lab results show that it's the victim's blood. So there's blood from the victim on the defendant's clothes. Definitely not good. So are there any other clues you could glean from this piece of evidence? Well...
Objection!
If you must change the topic, then a good detective here must testify again. But too bad. Not enough time. Let's move on. Why is there not enough time? Yes, Mrs. Von Karma is perfectly correct. The judge on her side. Oh. You don't get to make up the rules, Von Karma. Why is Von Karma suddenly putting up a resistance? Must be a reason as to why she suddenly threw out the objection like that. Hey. Hey. Mr. Wright, this Von Karma's logic is perfect. There's no way for you to poke a hole in it. Looks like my time's up. It's about the costume. Your Honor, actually there is something very wrong with this piece of evidence. What? What are you talking about, pal? Where is the problem you're talking about? The problem I have with this piece of evidence is here.
Take that!
I ask the court to please take a look at the sleeve of this costume. The sleeve? There's a tiny hole here. A hole? But that wasn't in the report. Hold on. What's this around the hole? It smells faintly of gunpowder. Gunpowder. No one ever told me that. A hole that smells of gunpowder. Looks like I found a hole I was looking for. Nah. But Your Honor, the only logical conclusion you can make is that this must be a bullet hole. Order. This is a very grave matter. It's best we correct the court record first before anything else. My clothes I was wearing at the time. Sorry about that. I guess we messed up, sir. Grabbing the sleeve. Is she actually smiling? What else is she hiding? Pull yourself together, detective. That tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds. Continue with your testimony. That just now was a fluke, nothing more. How can you say something like that? This is a huge oversight. Well, I agree it's a mistake on the part of the police. What Prosecutor Von Karma has said is true. The evidence still stands. Do not find a more definitive problem with the evidence then. No way. Detective Gumshoe, please continue with your testimony. Yes, sir. Defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. He was. Oh! He was fighting back. He shot first. Han shot first. Dr. Gray shot first. He wasn't fighting back. How do you know if he was or wasn't? We could find no evidence that the victim put up any sort of struggle, pal. So did the murderer have a fight with the victim or not? Depending on this, the circumstances around this murder changed drastically. Wow. Okay, so the spirit comes out, and instead of getting a confession, he got a "you did it, you were the problem," and probably afraid that Mia was going to remember and say that he was the one that killed those 14 people, pulled out his gun. He went to shoot. Why'd she have a knife, though? The knife was in the room for the fruit in the room, I guess? Then grabs the gun while they're struggling. Gets gun, shoots him. Depending on this, the circumstances around the murder changed drastically. We're in real trouble now. It's something that could prove the victim did fight back. Well, it's the we'll find a critical contradiction. The fight back is the bullet hole. The defendant attacked and killed a person who without a doubt was not fighting back. This is where we now present the updated. Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes? Having you call me by full name is kind of a weird feeling. You said that my client killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. Yeah, I did. Now what, may I ask, is the bullet hole you police overlooked supposed to mean? What does it mean? What do you mean, what does it mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means the victim had fired off a shot. Is this what it means to not fight back? Ah, you're right. It seems you are correct. If the victim had tried to shoot the defendant, then it would change everything. Alright. The wind seems to be shifting. Huh. What is it with that? Are you finished yet, love? Are you finished yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Mrs. Von Karma? It seems that my affair was shot at by the victim. However, that is only grounds enough to support a justified self-defense plea. That is correct. But I'm sure you remember, Your Honor, what the defense clearly said. They rejected justified self-defense and pleaded not guilty. Why, that's right. Which means the defense has yet to prove anything at all. Well, yes, that's true. Furthermore, just the fact that there is a bullet hole in the costume is not enough to substantiate even a plea of justified self-defense. Huh? How so? Don't just stand there. Hurry up and tell the court what transpired that day. With the new information we acquired, added in, of course. You mean by myself? You want me to put together the scenario all by myself? Ah! Yes, sir. Right away, sir. What transpired? Okay, come on, Dick. Gumshoe. During the channeling of the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of its strength to fight back, sir. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. The defendant then picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it. Wait, why did he drop his gun though? That seems silly. This scenario you put together does make sense. Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Wright, on the surface it does seem to make sense. However, I won't give up that easy. But please refrain from glaring at me like that. Now then, your cross-examination, please. What transpired? During the challenge, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Maybe. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. Makes sense. The victim took a shot, but they were too close and he missed. And... So you're saying that the bullet hole in this costume was made then? Sorry, pal, but yeah, that's what I think. The two of them were already fighting when a shot was fired. Well, I'm really glad you weren't hurt. No. Because, as previously discussed... Okay. No gunpowder burn. Missing the tiny hole on this costume will be the prosecution's undoing. Huh? What do you mean? This little hole has actually created a huge hole in your testimony. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. You said the two of them were fighting when the victim fired his gun at point blank. If that were true, then where is the gunpowder burn on this costume? Gunpowder burn. This is what you testified earlier. When something is shot at from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Oh. But there is not a single trace of gunpowder burn on this costume. That is a very good point. And what exactly does this mean? It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other.
Objection!
I'm disappointed, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that? With wishy-washy thinking like that, anyone can explain anything away. And I implore you to disprove my line of thinking. Let's see. In the middle of their fight, the victim pushed the defendant away. And it was that when they were separated that he fired. How was that?
Objection!
As if that were even possible. According to the testimony, the wound from the stabbing was very severe. The victim would not have had the strength to push the defendant very far after that. Ha, sweat it out. Well, then... That's right. The defendant must have pushed the victim away. After stabbing him, she must have put some space between the doctor and herself. And then while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took his shot. There, that should satisfy even you. And that does make an awful lot of sense. Aha. But the hole in the screen is lower than the hole in the sleeve. So it means he has to shoot from a higher position. You think, Mr. Wright? Must be careful, can't afford to make a mistake. Concentrate and think. Something doesn't make sense. There's a fatal flaw in her argument, Your Honor. Fatal. Flaw. Yeah. Very interesting. I'd love to see what this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation. There has to be a snag somewhere. She put distance between them before rushing to make the final blow. And when she was about to strike, the doctor took his shot. Take that! This piece of evidence that destroys your logic. What is that? A folding screen? I'd like to point to the court's attention to the hole in this folding screen. Ah. Looks like you already know what I'm talking about. Ooh, where what? Mr. Wright, your explanation, please. These two really that clueless? The bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding screen. It passed through at a height of approximately 8 inches off the ground, which means when the shot was fired, the defendant, was not getting ready to strike, but was actually squatting low to the ground. When they were sitting across from each other. So instead of firing at a downward angle from up higher, he's been sitting and he's shot across and he's hit the sleeve and it's gone straight through. Yeah. This changes everything. Please look at this diagram of the crime scene. Dr. Gray was here when he fired the shot, and the bullet hit this folding screen. It hit at this location about 8 inches off the ground. At this time, the defendant was in this area. I mean, probably closer to the knife, right?
Take that!
Somewhere around here, yeah. He shoots, grabs knife. Uh-oh. Judge's face is scrunched like he just smelled some serious bad breath. That is, wait, I just realized I forgot to brush this morning. Excuse me while I freshen up. Sure. In the meantime, I want you to think things through again. Mr. Wright. What? Of course. Whoops. Is this going to be find the pixel? Let's go with here.
Take that!
Somewhere around here. Let's put her right there.
Take that!
Wait a second. You know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole. How can you gauge the distance from that? Isn't it possible the defendant was standing much closer to the victim? It's impossible. But why? You more people should know the answer to that question, Miss Von Karma. If she was shot from somewhere closer, there would be gunpowder burns present. However, there is nothing of the sort around the bullet hole of this costume. Curse you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You... I believe it has now been proven that the defendant was standing a ways from the victim when she was shot at. But do you think this has changed the defendant's situation? It changes everything. Honestly, Your Honor, this changes everything. The prosecution has claimed the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with the knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at the time? Squatting all the way by the folding. Maybe she was looking behind it because it's pitch black and she heard something. Exactly. My Fei was a real murderer. Why would she be by the folding screen instead of preparing to strike? On further consideration, it does make very little sense. Yeah, I figured there had to be a reason. Figuring things out and proving the logic behind everything is your job. Oof. Right, with this, the rest of the trial should be in the... Blast radius of disaster. You are such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix Wright. To think that you've been able to take a completely hopeless case to this point. Now I know why Papa had a tough time with you. You amuse me. Ugh. All the things to inherit. Why did it have to be that smarmy smile? Detective. How dare you damage my perfect logic? Uh-huh. How is it all my fault? You can start by repairing your standing by first removing that 3-strand goatee. Ooh. Oh, and rest assured your punishment will come later. But punishment? He's like, alright, no, like, I'll let you punish me. Well then, Your Honor, I think I've had all I could take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness. Next witness, gotta be Lotta. Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, we'll hear from the next witness. To be continued. Okay. Things are heating up.